Hello, Jensen teachers. This screencast is being created strictly for you. Your principal had asked me to attend today's staff meeting, but I was already booked at another school, so he talked about creating a screencast that he could show at the staff meeting that would be the same content that I would talk about if I were there. So here we are. Hopefully, if you followed all the directions, you all are logged into Illuminate and you're at your home page and you have all of the different colored tiles down below, which are your tiles or shortcuts for Illuminate. I'm actually logged in as one of you, just so you can see exactly what it looks like from a teacher perspective, because my menus are sometimes a little different than what everybody sees. So I'm here at the home page. I have my tiles here and I have my black menu bar across the top. In the top left corner, notice the Illuminate Education logo. That will remain constant no matter where you are in Illuminate, and that is your shortcut to get back to this here page. Now down below the Illuminate Education are the areas where we'll be taking a look at today. We have 4 areas: students, grades, reports, and assessments. Because we're concentrating on report cards, which have to do with grades, we're going to look under the grades tab here, and when you click on that, a menu pops down and you can see it's divided into 3 sections. At the bottom section you see the word report cards, and the main 2 areas that you will be dealing with are entry and printing. So we're going to go down to here and we're going to click ahead on the word entry. This next page is basically just getting your roster, so you don't need to do anything unless for some reason you were only looking for one particular student, and you can click in the second field if you were, but by default we're going to take a look at your entire roster. So we click on Find Students, and you pretty much can ignore this unless you teach, you're a combo teacher, and you'll need to use the second menu to select the 2 grades that you have. You'll be doing 1 grade, working on that, and then you'll have to come back out and then come back in and load your other grade separately. But if you're teaching 1 grade, you'll simply click that grade level. It should be filled in for you already. And then you see the next menu. Now to orient you, there are basically the 2 main ways to enter in data. And you see it here in the title. So there's one area here where we're going to enter, if you wanted to enter marks student by student. You can simply click on a student's name and you will see the entire report card, and you could start working that way. From what I hear, most people tend to want to work in the entry by field area, which means I now have my ELA grades for the entire class, and I simply want to work on ELA, and tomorrow I'll come back and I'm going to work on math, and so on and so forth. So that is what you see in the next 2 areas here, these next 2 columns. This is the entry by field, and as you can see, these fields are arranged very much like the report card is arranged, with our language arts on the left column and our math over on the right column, and some of the other subjects down below. Now note that there are how this area over here is organized, and over here. We see bold headers and then bullets down below each of those. And again, that's exactly how it's arranged on the report card, that there's a header of reading literature, and then there are the 3 areas that are being assessed or reported here below. I could click on each one of these individually, but it's probably going to make more sense to concentrate on the headers, where when you click on the headers, you will be getting an interface that allows you to fill in scores for all of the bulleted areas down below. Let's take a look, for example, here at reading literature. I see that there are 1, 2, 3 bullets below, and on the report card it says reading literature as the header, and then there's the 3 areas where I could enter in marks. If I click on the header, it then takes those 3 fields and makes each one into a column. And then my students are here on the left, alphabetically arranged, and I can simply go through and use this pull-down menu to select the plus, minus, or you can leave it blank, or the not assessed. Maybe not here as much, but you will have the opportunity to have sections where you might have a same score for everybody, maybe in behavior, maybe in science or PE. So each of the features does have a fill down button up near the top where you can fill down one of the characters that are available for that column. And so, for example, this particular column, the grades that are assigned there are the plus and the minus, but elsewhere, if this were PE or another area where it's a O and SU, you might be able to fill down an S for everybody and then go change the outliers that are on either side of S. So it's a nice feature. Another new feature with Illuminate is the headers here across the top are there, but as I begin to scroll down through the alphabet, notice that the headers float at the top there. So even though I get down to the bottom of the alphabet, I always know what the header is for that particular column in case I start to forget where I am. There's a save button. I encourage you to save often just to protect yourself. One thing that's nice about Illuminate is its sign out time is a lot longer than it was in ORS, so I know that that was a source of frustration with ORS, that people were working on their report cards and maybe worked on something, hadn't saved, and then got timed out. So Illuminate will time you out, but it's going to be a much greater amount of time before you get to that process. So, but definitely good practice to always save many times, save before you leave a page, just to make sure that you don't make any mistakes. When you're done with the particular section, you can also jump around to other sections in the report card right here and be able to do it that way. Jumping over here to taking a look at entry student by student, just so you know what that looks like. Now we have the students here at the top, and I've got some shortcuts to various sections of that, but for this particular student, I now have the report card in the order that it appears on the report card, where I can do that, just manually enter the scores here, student by student. And then my pull-down menu allows me to jump around to other students. One of the reasons I wanted to show you the student-by-student interface is because there's actually, in Illuminate, a third way you could enter scores, and the only way you see it is when you're in the student-by-student portion. So here again, we can do some fill-down features. But across the top, you'll notice there's something called the report card viewer. This is something we didn't have in ORS, but we do have in Illuminate. So when you click on that, you'll actually see a field a mock-up of the report card, and then the purple boxes represent fields where you can put in information. So might be you like operating this way and you simply click in the field and you'll get an interface that allows you to select that. If you decide you don't like that, you can click up here again to switch to field entry. I'm going to return to the section by section interface here to show you one other feature. K1-2 teachers. Your Fountas and Pinnell is the same as the BAS, the Benchmark Assessment System. Maybe it's still called Running Records, I don't know. But in Illuminate, they have some direct support. They have a module that is for BAS. So they've pre-done some reports, everything's in there, so I just had them activate the module. But you need to know that it's called Fountas and Pinnell because that's the name of the company that publishes the benchmark assessment system, and that is just how Illuminate has named it. But you'll notice there's no way to enter marks here. If I were a 3, 4, or 5 teacher, I would be able to, there would be a field here where I can simply put in the numbers. Okay, so again, upper grade teachers, you're just going to input directly into the report card as you have before. But K2 teachers, there's a slightly different process. You're actually going to enter in the BAS scores in a separate location, and that separate location will automatically feed into your report card. So you won't actually have to put any BAS scores in the report card. It'll be done for you when you complete the report. There's a separate video for that that I'll include for Dustin to take a look at. When you're all done, you'll want to come back to printing. And this is where you can do some of your printing options to actually print the report card. Again, to demonstrate, I'm going to go up here to the top left corner, Illuminate Education, and I'm back at my home page. Hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to email me, and thank you very much.